benefits of studying music at Trinity Laban are many and various. One of the interesting things is that we don't have a set pattern that we expect a student to undergo. We have a set program, but we're looking for students to be themselves. We're looking for a student to develop their own skills in their own way so that they don't come out as being a typical Trinity Laban student, but come out as being their own person.
Having my instrumental lessons with these performers and professionals who are at the top of their game, my technique has improved tenfold.
They're trying to facilitate your career.
Trinity Laban prepares students for today's music and dance industry, which I think is very important.
Going to Trinity Laban has given me the opportunity to meet different people I never thought I would ever meet.
It's amazing being in such an iconic setting, which means it's a really sort of bustling environment and you feel inspired.
Trinity Laban feels like my second home.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our inaugural Masterclass of the Art Song Festival 2021. We are very, very pleased to be collaborating with our friends Trinity Laban in London and Trinity Laban International Academies. And I would just like to extend a warm thank you to Tim and to Lena for helping to organize and coordinate this fantastic international art song event. We had started our run-up to the Art Song Festival 2020, and we're just on the verge of having the live events when unfortunately the pandemic hit, and we unfortunately had to cancel the event after a very, very promising start. So we are very, very happy that we are able to actually bring it now in online format. And this has allowed us to open up with participants coming from all over the world. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, we will have masterclasses with international voice experts, as well as a composition workshop where we are exploring newly written art songs and building up to our composition finale. We are very, very thankful to Nina Kanter, who is our festival director, and it is really her enthusiasm that has driven this art song forward. So I would like to hand over to Nina, and she will take us forward for the rest of the event. Nina, over to you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, and welcome everybody, wherever you're joining us from, whether you're in the UK, where I am in London, or whether you're in Chennai, or the rest of India, or throughout the world. Really, really pleased to see you and to welcome you. And as Adam said, we're so happy that we could go ahead with the festival this year, online in digital format, after we unfortunately had to cancel the festival last year. Really, really thrilled to be starting today with our first masterclass with 3 young singers. The festival was conceived last year really to give a platform to young Indian singers and pianists to perform, and also to introduce art song to new audiences. We felt that opera was quite well known as a Western classical vocal genre in India, but art song less so. And actually, especially for students, art song is wonderful because it tends to be more intimate than opera. So for students who are still working on their technique, it's ideal to perform. They don't have to be heard over an orchestra. And it also offers pianists an equal role in the music. So they really collaborate and work together to tell stories through song. And we also wanted to bring art song to new audiences in India as well. So we hope that many of you will be joining us today. Apart from that, we're thrilled to be also hosting a composition workshop next week so that we can work with young composers in India on new art songs, keep the genre thriving and relevant to today. So thank you so much for joining us. And I am thrilled to introduce Professor Jennifer Hamilton, who is Head of Vocal Studies at Trinity Laban in London. Jennifer has been head of that department since 2017, and prior to that she was acting head of vocal drama and opera department at the DIT Conservatory of Music and Drama in Dublin. She's also been a staff member at the Royal College of Music, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland and the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester. And Jennifer is active as both a performer and a director. She's worked with composers including Giancarlo Menotti and Hans Werner Herzer. And as a director, she has directed works by composers including James Macmillan and Mark Anthony Turnage. So some very big names there. And we're really, really thrilled to have Jennifer joining us today and giving us her wealth of experience in working with our young singers. Our three young singers today are Anusha Bobby, Shashwat Vishwakarma and Ananya Didipur, and they're going to be taking about half an hour each to work with Jennifer on their chosen songs. So without further ado, we are going to start with Anusha. We're going to have Anusha's introductory video first, find out a little bit more about her, and then we'll kick off the masterclass. Thank you, Adam.
My name is Anusha Marin Bobby and I'm a soprano from Kerala, India, and I'm currently residing in Bahrain. My musical journey started at the age of 5 with Carnatic music, after which I joined the church choir in Bahrain, which was my first introduction to Western classical music. I went on to taking ABRSM grade exams and did until grade 5 before joining the foundation course at KM Music Conservatory in Chennai. I now hold a diploma from KM as well as a BA Music Honours degree from the Middlesex University in London.
Thank you. So I think we'll continue now, and Anusha, over to you. Go ahead, and looking forward to hearing you sing.
Hello, Anusha. It's great to see you.
It's lovely to see you too.
So what do you want to sing to us, Anusha?
So I'd like to sing Gretchen am Spinnrade by Schubert.
Okay. What would you, before you sing it to us, just introduce it to us briefly. What do you think the song is about? I mean, what is it about, but what do you think it's about? Because that's not always the same thing.
Yes. So Gretchen am Spinnrade translates to Gretchen at the spinning wheel. So Gretchen is a young girl at the spinning wheel, and she is fallen in love with a much older guy, Faust, and she yearns for him and she's madly in love with him, and that's what the piece is about. But
do you know why? I mean, there's no reason that she shouldn't fall in love with him, but do you know why specifically she has fallen in love with him?
Because she's, I think she's not very experienced because she's very young. So his older self and his
there's another story to this, Anusha, that's quite important in a way to know about for singing this song. Yeah. Some of you might have heard of an opera called Faust by Gounod. And this is the same story in that Marguerite is the heroine, it's the same character. The thing about Faust is that he is, you're absolutely right, he is older than Gretchen, Marguerite, and he just longs to be able to have a relationship with this beautiful young woman. But he's an old, well, he's probably not that old, but he's probably much younger than any of us, than me. But you know, he feels he is old and past it, and that his sort of chances in life for having a romantic life, you know, he's a professor. He's been living in the world of books, and so he makes a pact with the devil.
Yeah.
And if that he will have renewed youth, but not just youth, but just magnetism, so that when Gretchen, Marguerite, sees him, they will just be obsessed with him. So it's not just a case of, oh, they will find him quite attractive. So this song is not just about feeling attracted, it's about being obsessed, intoxicated, because he has supernatural qualities.
Yeah.
So it's very intense.
Yeah.
the source is by Goethe.
Yes.
And I think it's quite important to understand that part of the story. Anyway, let's hear you sing it,
Okay.
and we'll talk about it as we go on.
All right. Meine Ruhe ist still, mein Herz ist still. Ich will, dass ich nimmer und nimmer will. Wo ich ihn nicht hab, ist wie das Grab, die ganze Welt ist mir vergällt. Mein armer ist mir verrückt, mein arme Seel ist mir zerstückt. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist still. Ich will, dass ich nimmer und nimmer will. Nach Himmel schau ich zum Fenster hinaus, nach Himmel geh ich aus dem Haus. Sein hoher Gang, sein edle Gestalt, seines Mondes Lächeln, seine Augen Gewalt und seine Rede zauberfroß, sein Händedruck und sein Kuss. Meine Ruhe ist still, mein Herz ist still. Ich will, dass ich nimmer und nimmer will. Mein Busen drängt sich nach ihm hin, ach, dürft ich fassen und halten ihn und küssen ihn, so wie ich muss an seinen Küssen vergehen sollt. O könnt ich küssen, so wie ich wollt, an seinen Küssen vergehen sollt, an seinen Küssen vergehen sollt. Meine Ruhe ist still, mein Herz ist still.
Well done, Anusha. Very well done.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the strengths of what you've just done, because there were some really super things with what you were doing there. For a start, the vocal quality was lovely. There was an ongoing, what I call a spin on the sound. There's that vibrato and resonance. So the sound is always alive and quivering. Very good tuning, excellent German with excellent double consonants. And it was just very mindful singing. All the basics were beautifully in place. You know, what I didn't really have anything I could pick you up on those basics. So lovely tonal quality, good breath support, good command of the music, good language. Now, that's never enough, is it? No sooner do we get one thing in place or two or three things in place, then you build on that. And if I have any comment about this overall performance, I would say that it's slightly too careful. It's too safe.
Okay.
It's beautiful, and that's very good. And in a way that those basics always have to be there first. And I would say to anybody listening, look at things like the closed vowels in German and the double consonants, which Anusha did really, really well, because they are part of your expressivity. And if you're not observing these, it's very difficult to add artistry onto something that is not, that's not there in the first place. But yours was very much there. Anusha, could you say the first few lines to me as if you were in a play, or indeed as if you really were Gretchen, and this is just the way you feel? Because she's a woman in a kind of fever. So could you just speak the text for me a minute, but sort of in rhythm?
Okay.
Yeah.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie nimmer und nimmermehr.
Okay, so that's very, you know, your face is very expressive and it's beautifully done, but she doesn't sound to me like a woman a little bit going out of control. Okay. So what I'm talking, this feeling, you know, because all the time Schubert gives us these wonderful, the feeling of the spinning wheel going ba 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 ba, but there's something sort of mad about it. And even though, I mean, Schubert talks about crescendi in the piano part, and he doesn't particularly talk it about for the singer, but you need to feel that. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. You know, rather than meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. So first I want you to feel this, it's like waves in the sea. Can you feel much more of that shape of turbulence? You know, that we might say. So could you try speaking it again with that feeling of the waves of passion?
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer.
So wait a minute, so even when you speak it, mein Herz ist schwer, really close that closed vowel.
Okay.
Rather than mein Herz ist schwer. Meine Ruhe ist hin. So I want you first to try it speaking, and then I want to see if we can put that into the singing.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie nimmer und nimmermehr.
Okay, good. Now, it's not very well doing this in speech like this, but in a way, if you can plant those ideas in speech, you can do it through the singing. Now, very often in song and in poetry, we have repeated words. Ich finde, ich finde. Why does she say ich finde twice? Why doesn't she just say it once?
Because she's extremely confused and she's extremely agitated.
Yeah, exactly. So any time in a song that you repeat words, it's usually to intensify, and it's usually suggesting a kind of spontaneous feel. Because if it was all very planned, you just need to say it once. But ich finde sie nimmer. You see? So rather than being too calm about that, ich finde, really anticipate that second one. Ich finde. So I'm demonstrating it in speech because I don't want to demonstrate with singing anyway. But I want you to do it if you're singing. So could you try this? How would you feel about trying this first unaccompanied? I had a, have you got a note there at hand?
No, I can't get the note.
I can't see what the first, it's an F. Is that an F?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I start?
Yes, unaccompanied, but with those shapes. So.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie
that's better. Now, try this again. Well done, by the way. I want you to pretend you don't know what the next thing is that you're going to say. You know, meine Ruhe ist hin. Oh, and another thing, my heart is just, and I find, you know, her thoughts are just scrambled. So even if you sort of take a bit longer between the thoughts, break it up just now, but find that spontaneity. You did it very well in Ich finde sie nimmer. Try again.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie nimmer und nimmer mehr.
Getting better. It's still very beautifully composed. So I want you to make it even more hysterical in a way. Schwer. Can you close that a bit more? And also really feel that you're traveling to meine Ruhe ist hin. You know, it's all gone, it's finished, it's over. You know, that's the emotional part of the word. Now this time I want you to do what you did, but I want you to feel that each thought, each sentence comes from a different place in the room, so that you're there and there and there and there, rather than it's all beautifully composed and planned.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie nimmer und nimmer mehr.
That's coming. Now I want you to do it again and do it even more. How does it feel, Anusha, to do this?
I feel like it does support my singing better doing this.
Yeah. The thing is, if you do your work and you're a good singer and you're a good student, you'll do lots of thought and preparation and planning. And sometimes the funny thing is that from an artistic point of view, all that's got to be in place, but it's also got to sound as if you've never done any of that. So for the drama of this song, the madness to come over, we need to feel that each idea is fresher, not I've rehearsed this and this is how I'm doing it. So could you try this again and really feel as if, let's pretend she's feeling she's got voices in her head. So there's a voice up in the corner telling her, meine Ruhe ist hin. What did you say? Mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde, oh my God, you know, really, really take it to that kind of extreme of madness.
Yeah, okay. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich finde sie nimmer und nimmer mehr.
Better, better, better. Can you get the sense of meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer, and therefore, I can't find it. Yeah. You know, not just, and the next thing I'm going to say is ich finde, mein Herz ist schwer, and it's all because ich finde, it's, I can't find what I'm looking for. Try this now with the accompaniment.
Okay.
Now, I know it's pianissimo, and very often, traditionally, people start this song very quiet and they build it, and that's absolutely right. But there needs to be an inner intensity in the first place. Yeah. You know, unless you're going to play it as somebody who's very depressed and just, oh my God, my life is terrible. And that's not very easy when you're singing, when you need to have an animation in the sound. So try this thing that we're doing just now and do it to the accompaniment. Okay. And just keep going. I'll stop you.
Okay.
Can you make more of the double M? Nim. Make that, you're doing it very well, but I want you to make it expressive. Nimmer mehr.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer, ich finde bestückt.
Okay, good, well done. So it is already much more expressive.
Yeah.
And it is more dramatic. Now, Schubert was a genius, and it's not accident that there's this, you know, we go from the extremes. Wo bin ich, hab ich mir das Grab die ganze Welt ist mir verkehrt, way down there, then minor, way up here.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do, we'll try this again, and when you get to the wo ich hin nicht hab, I want you to get that, become calmer again, but calmer in a sad way, in a hopeless way, so that we go from hopeless and kind of calm to crazy, you know?
Okay, yes.
So really play these extremes in the vocal line. Now this time, try it again from the beginning, just start it a bit quieter, but with all this intensity that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see if you can get these zins, nims, all these really intensify them, and then keep going.
Yeah. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist
Wait a minute, Anusha. I just feel that hin is just, it's not quite meaning anything. You know, my piece is ended, it's over, it's finished. That needs to be an emotional word, not just a nice, neat way to finish the sentence.
Okay. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich will nur, dass ich nimmer und nimmer mehr. Wo ich ihn nicht hab, ist mir das Grab. Die ganze Welt ist mir vergällt. Mein armer Kopf ist mir verrückt. Mein armer Seele ist mir zerstückt.
Anusha, can you possibly go back to wo ich hin? Wo ich hin. Can you get that far? Can you be even calmer in a really spooky, sort of scary way? Can you make the extremes? Because this is pianissimo. So just find something that's even calmer, and it's me to really get down so that we really hear these low notes. And then wake up your soft palate. Wake up the big yawn. So that it's almost like screaming. Beautiful, in tune screaming. So we get that contrast. At the moment, we're not quite getting, I would like more contrast from you.
Yes. Okay.
So let's go from wo ich hin nicht hab.
Wo ich ihn nicht hab, ist mir das Grab. Die ganze Welt ist mir vergällt. Mein armer Kopf ist mir verrückt. Mein armer Seele ist mir zerstückt.
Yeah, sorry, I just meant to keep going. Mein armer Kopf ist mir, mein Zin. Again, if you sang on that, it's like a mosquito, you know, buzzing in the room, driving you mad. Zin. Make more of your M's and your N's. Let's go back to mein armer. It was very beautiful. I would like a bit more bite on the sign. Mein armer Kopf. I wouldn't normally say that. I would normally want people to make an open I vowel more rounded so that it isn't too like a witch. But here, I think we need that drama. Bit more of that.
Can I go back to Wohin? Is that okay?
Of course you can. and see if you can make it even more legato.
Wo ich ihn nicht hab, ist wie das Grab, die ganze Welt ist mir vergällt. Mein armer Kopf ist mir verwirkt, mein armer See ist mir zerstückt. Meine Ruhe ist hin, mein Herz ist schwer. Ich find, dass ich nimmer und nimmer mehr. Nach ihm nur schau ich zum Fenster hinaus, nach ihm nur geh ich aus dem Haus, sein Haus.
Okay, we can't do much longer on this, but
this is your 5-minute warning.
Thank you, thank you. Again, it's very beautiful, Anusha, but it's just a little bit calm. It's a little, but not even calm in a crazy way. It's just a bit calm in a very beautiful way. Okay. So, use that up again, that really looking out the window, really open the back here. I don't mean open the vowel, open your space so you get more bite into the sound and more alertness, like it's really happening. So it's not just, oh, this is something that happened last week. Sure, it's not dreamy. It's, you know, when I look out the window, when I look out the door, it's got to feel very alive, the sound there. And that will happen to do with the kind of vowel shape that you hear. Nahim no shawik zum Fenster hinaus. Again, it's a bit like ich finde, prepare for that second nach. Nahim no shawik zum Fenster hinaus. Nahin, not just da-dam, ba-bam, bam, ba-dam, ba-da-dam, and then another.
Yes.
It has to intensify with the feeling of the hysteria going up. When you are finished this, when you next have a lesson or a practice with somebody, really work on trying to sing on that N. Zin, you know, not just zin and let it drop. Really resonate with it, because it will help the feeling of craziness the poor woman's feeling. So let's go back to Nahin. Nahin, sorry, I tend to go in, Nahin.
Nahin, nur schau ich zum Fenster hinaus, nahin, nur geh ich aus dem Haus, sein Hakan, sein edler Gestalt, seines Mondes Lächeln, seiner Augen Gewalt und seine Rede Zauberfluss, sein Händedruck und sein Kuss.
Good. I felt you really changed things about shall we. Did you feel that for yourself about how your voice really was really lovely? It was lovely before, but it became more immediate, more present, more pingy. And when we sing, I'm saying this to everybody, we can get a bit reflective, a bit dreamy, a bit always like we're looking back to something, being poetic. And sometimes there's a time where what you're singing about has to feel like it's happening as you're saying it. And that's where this this sort of feeling of space in the soft palate, the space in the soft palate you need for everything, but something that helps the sound become more bright, but warm as well. The Sein Hohe Gang is a place where you can find a different color. Aus dem Haus. Oh, Sein Hohe Gang. You know, find a different, it's a different dynamic. I mean, it says pianissimo, but it says pianissimo a lot. And then it sort of spins out of control and then it goes back to being very calm. I think we have to stop. Do we have to stop, Nina?
We do, yes. I'm so sorry to stop you.
No, it's fine. Anusha, just before we move on, is there anything you want to ask me, or is there anything you want to say before we tie this up?
No, it was really helpful. The part where I need to work on, expressing more.
The thing is, you've obviously done superb preparation for this. And that's great. And it's almost like as soon as somebody does that, then somebody like me comes along and sort of wants more, or wants it not to sound like it was that. But the fact that it's so beautifully prepared, the next thing is to make it sound as if this is just happening. So very often the different ways to do that is look at the language, look at the pronunciation, look at double consonants, and particularly double consonants you can sing on, like ms and ns, zin and im, because they will help you find that. They will help you find that intensity. So that's one thing. Always look out for repeated times when people repeat something. Ich finde sie nimm, because it gives you a sort of surge into it the second time.
Yes.
Sing as if you don't know what the next thing you're going to say is.
Yes.
Especially something dramatic like this.
Yes.
And then also observe more contrasts in color and dynamic. Ist mir verkehrt, mein Name. It's that extreme. Embrace it more.
Yes.
Because, I think we spend a lot of time ironing everything out to make it all even and beautiful. And actually, this has to be the opposite, this song.
Yes.
But you sing it really well, and I know the rest of it would be great. So I hope that gives you something to go on, Anusha.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, Anusha. Thank you. It's glorious to hear you again, Anusha, after hearing you when you were at KM. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful singing. And thank you, Jennifer. So we're going to move on now to our second participant today, who is Shashwat Vishwakarma. And he is joining us from India. And we're going to find out a little bit more about him now in his introductory video.
Hi, I'm Shashwat Vishwakarma, baritone from India. About 15 years ago, I started taking keyboard lessons, but then my interest gradually shifted towards voice, and I pursued Hindustani vocals for a while. Fast forward 8 years later, I came to KM Conservatory, and I fell in love with Western classical music. Since then, I've had 3 years of training, 2 years under Miss Nina Cantor. I've also attended and performed in various masterclasses by Patricia Rosario and Lucas Meacham. As for now, in a couple of months' time, I will be in Germany, continuing further studies.
Now.
Thanks, Adam. So we're going to move on to our second singer now, who is Shashwat Vishwakarma. Shashwat, do you want to introduce yourself and what you're going to be singing today?
Yes. Hi, I'm Shashwat. I'm a baritone from India, and I'm going to be singing Whither Must I Wander by Fawn Williams. Also, just an apology in advance. I'm going to be using the sheet music because
That's okay.
Yeah, this is the latest addition to my repertoire. So,
Shashwat, before you start singing, again, can you tell us, please, what the song is about, the poem is about, but then what it means to you, because that might not be the same thing.
Right. Okay. So I think what this piece is talking about is the traveler. He's sort of revisiting memories from his past, probably from his childhood, but he later comes to a realization that all of that is in the past and he can't go back to his past. So he has to live on with what he has now. So that's what I think it is about.
Okay.
Must I wander, hunger my driver, I go where I must. Cold blows the winter wind over hill and heather, thick drives the rain and my roof is in the dust. Loved of wise men was the shade of my roof tree. The true word of welcome was spoken in the door. Dear days of old with the faces in the firelight, kind folks of old, you come again no more. Home was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces. Home was home then, my dear, happy for the child. Fire and the windows bright glittered on the moorland. Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild. Now when day dawns on the brow of the moorland, lone stands the house and the chimney stone is cold. Lone let it stand, now the friends are all departed. The kind hearts, the true hearts that loved the place of old. Spring shall come, come again, calling up the moorfowl. Spring shall bring the sun and rain, bring the bees and flowers. Red shall the heather bloom over hill and valley. Soft flow the stream through the even flowing hours. Fair the day shine as it shone on my childhood. Fair shine the day on the house with open door. Birds come and cry there and twitter in the chimney, but I go forever and come again no more.
Well done, Shashwat. Really lovely. So let's talk about what I think is very good about this. You have beautiful articulation of the English, of the text, beautiful final consonants, you know, the msts and all of these. Really, it's like sewing a button on something, you know, it's excellent detail. And you obviously have a very strong artistic instinct with the shape of the melody. You know, you make it sound very natural, and you have a good feeling for the sort of arch of the melody, a good musical instinct. Now, when you get into the sort of second bit of each verse, the higher section, you start to have to really engage all your voice, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like doing that?
I do like doing that, but I'm a bit nervous at the moment, so it's just not happening as much.
Don't be, no, it is happening. It's lovely when you do that.
Yeah.
And I wonder, maybe you're nervous because, you know, there's just people listening to us, but maybe you're nervous because you feel that you're not sure that you've got enough breath.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, because that's part of being a singer, being insecure and worried. And just now you don't have quite enough breath, but you will get it, and you're doing the right thing by really singing out. And by the thing about the voice and the body, if we send a message to our lungs and our rib cage and our body that says, I only need this much breath because I'm only sort of singing or speaking at this level, our bodies think, oh, that's fine, that's all they need. If we start doing big legato phrases with more of our voice and we keep going, because our bodies are programmed to survive, they think, our body thinks, I need to create more breath. I need to get more breath flowing for my human being, as it were. That's a very weird way of putting it, but by using your voice more, your rib cage will begin to expand more and your breath management will get better. Now, there's things that you can do to help that. Yeah. I don't know, do you do anything for sort of improving your breath capacity?
I just do the basic exercises every now and then. The really control.
Well, no, but those are very good. Yeah. Those are when you say I just do the basic exercises, those are very good basic exercises. And things like
yeah.
And when you empty, and then empty even more, and then allow your body to take a big breath. And each time you do that, you're sending a message to your subconscious to expand more.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, this is important because what I feel about this is that you're singing half this song like a real singer, but you're singing half of it a bit like a folk singer or a pop singer. Right. Both of which are good, yeah. But you need to have more bel canto, legato connection through the vowels in the first part of it, of each verse. So right. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes. Yeah.
So could you do me a favor, please? What I want you to do is forget your feeling about the song, forget the meaning. I want you to do this, like an old-fashioned actor. Okay. Home no more, home to me, whither must I wander? Hunger my driver, I go where I must. Like that, okay? So really engage your declamatory speaking voice.
Okay, all right.
And stand still, really strong.
All right. Home no more, home to me, whither must I wander?
Okay, I'm going to stop you. Yeah. That is better. Yeah. But you're still wanting to close home. No, I'm going a bit like an instrumentalist. Okay. Home no more, home to me, whither the connection of the vowels from one word to the other.
All right.
Try again.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander? Is that better?
That was great. Now you actually took one breath for both lines. That's okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Hunger my drive.
Hunger my driver, I go where I must.
Must I go where I must?
Right. Okay.
You see? Now, don't sing with your accompaniment. Can you sing unaccompanied, please?
Yes.
Forget about being expressive. Forget about the atmosphere. I want you to think as if you're doing instrumental exercise of just keeping your string, your bow on the string. Mm-hmm. Let's hear, sing this to me like a sequence of constant sound.
Yeah. All right.
Do you need a note or can you get one for yourself?
Yeah.
Home.
Home, no more home to...
No, you've gone all artistic and expressive. I don't want that.
All right.
You can do that afterwards.
All right, okay.
This is what I want. Home, no more home to me, whether must I, whatever.
All right.
You know, not home. I don't want any artistry. I just want home, no more. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't pitch notes here.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander?
Okay, better. Now let's get let's get the back of your throat properly opened. Pretend you're singing Italian. Home, no more home to me. Say that like that.
Do you want me to say it or sing
Just say it first. Home, no more.
Home, no more home to me, whither...
Good. Yeah. That's good. And you can breathe after me. Yeah. Whither must I walk? Okay. Can you get more yawn at the back of your throat? Can you get more soft palate space so we get that? Home, no more home to me.
All right.
Not home, no more. Home. Can you do that?
All right. Still speaking, right?
Yep, still speaking.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander?
Good, that's getting better. Now, I want you to think more about the space at the back, because you need to make for yourself a wonderful inner resonating temple or cathedral inside here. Home, not just home.
Yeah.
Home. Can you just do that?
Home.
Good. Now do the home, no more home to me.
Home, no more home to me.
Go on. Whither
must I wander?
Good. Now put your hand on your own chest and just go home and see if you can feel the vibration. Home, which you will only get if you open up that yawn at the back.
Yeah. Okay.
Really put your hand there.
Yeah.
Home.
Good. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
Home, no more home to me. Whither must I wander?
Better. Now try singing it, Shashvat, but don't get expressive.
I won't.
Just be like a singing animal.
All right.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander?
Yeah, I lost the space on the top. Did I?
Yeah. Can you feel that though?
I can.
Now, I know your instinct is you want to make that more molded and smaller, and that instinct is very good, but you need to let the raw material of the voice flow first. And actually, you need more breath support, but and that will come. because the more you release the voice, the more that flow that keeps an even flow of breath needs to support it. Yeah. But one thing at a time. So now let's try it with your accompaniment. And just, even if it makes you feel that you're not being expressive,
yeah,
try and sing in those first bits with more of this Italian legato connection.
Yeah. Sorry, that's really low.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander? Hunger my driver, I go where I must.
Okay, good, better, much more better legato line. Now breathe. Home, no more home to me.
Yeah,
there's a comma.
Always forget a breath there, yes.
Whether, in other words, what you're saying is, I don't know where home is anymore, but where am I going to go instead?
Yeah.
And I'm starving, so I guess I need to go someplace where I can get some food.
Yeah.
But they're all different thoughts,
Yeah.
Home, no more home to me. Whether, now again, it's what I was saying to Anusha, a new thought, a fresh thought. Yeah. Whether must I wander? So don't let it get more and more, home, no more home to me, whether must I wander, and get smaller. You have to keep renewing the fresh space at the back, which goes with the breath.
Yeah.
But it was really lovely, by the way. Yeah. Now I want you to stand still and allow your body to do the work. Yeah, you're kind of. Yeah. I'm feeling seasick watching you.
All right. Okay.
It's all right. I'm only kidding. I don't feel seasick.
Home, no more home to me, whither must I wander? Hunger my driver, I go where I must.
Good. Okay. Excellent. So tell me what you're experiencing now, Shashwat.
I'm able to sing with much ease because I took a breath there and also connected.
Yeah, you've got more quality.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're feeling a little bit like, oh, heck, this needs more breath.
Yeah.
Which it does, but the breath will come. Yeah. But what I got there, you see, you became expressive in a different way. Because, for example, that line, hunger my driver, instead of just going, hunger my driver, that hunger opened up right down to your belly.
Yeah, I felt
with the vowel, hunger, like I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
Hunger, I want something to eat.
Yeah.
So it's this much more animal way of working with the voice. I go where I must. And you did that really well. So every time you start a new phrase, think of this fresh approach into it.
All right. Okay.
I come from the part of the world. You see, this poem is by a Scottish poet, very famous Scottish poet called Robert Louis Stevenson. Yeah. And his father was an engineer, and therefore Robert Louis Stevenson, as a young man, I think was on the move. And he died young of tuberculosis, but he was brought up in Edinburgh. But his father's business took him to the very north of Scotland, where I'm from. And the weather there is very cold and very stormy a lot of the time, because we have the North Sea and it just blows in from the North Pole. Yeah. So I'm sure that time that Stevenson spent really influenced his life. And I've often thought of this when I hear these poems. He didn't like living in the north of Scotland. I think he was miserable. He felt cold and he didn't feel well. He was helping his father with his father's engineering business. So that feeling of being bleak and having to be, it's not like a lovely English spring day, you know, you're standing there with a wind blowing you and, you know, where do you go next? It needs this drama and strength, and you need to be grounded in the way that you're standing. Otherwise, the wind will blow you over.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So think of that as an image. I promise you, when I used to go to school, we used to do this with our coats. We could almost take off. The wind is so strong. So feel that physical strength to sort of stand up to this misery that you feel. Mm-hmm. Okay. Try it again and keep going this time. Now get ready. Listen, this is what you did. Yeah. I mean, it's lovely, and it is going to make the thing that you possess will make you a very good singer. But just now it's getting in your way because you're thinking too small. Okay. You're thinking, oh, sorry, I can't pitch a note. Home, and I want home.
Okay, I will try that again.
I want you to think on a bigger scale. Think of yourself in the middle of miles of nothing and a big wind trying to blow you over. Home. It's like blowing it back.
All right.
Home, no more home to me. Whither must I wander? Hunger, my driver, I go where I must. Cold blows the winter wind over hill and heather. Thick drives the rain, and my roof is in the dark.
But stand still now.
Loved of wise men was the shade of my roof tree. The true word of welcome was spoken in the door. Dear days of old with the faces in the firelight. Kind folks of old, you come again no more.
Good, you're doing very well, Shashvat. I want you to carry on with it, but there's a few things I want to talk to you about. Yeah. When you breathe, don't just breathe for the shape of the sound that you're going to, of the words you're going to make. Breathe bigger than that.
Okay.
Drop your jaw more. You know, I often talk about guppy fish, you know, or pelicans getting water rather than loved, because, you know, as a baritone, you really need that strength in the sound.
Yeah.
And it opens up all the resonating, all the resonating chambers. The English whither, it's different. Whither must I wander? I mean, whither. But that's a difficult, whither must I wander? It needs to stay rounded. If not, it gets a bit wither, you know, it gets crushed. Mm-hmm. Also, when you're doing the English watch it doesn't turn into an
okay.
Because then we get that problem of we lose the legato. I'm trying to find the kind folks, come again rather than again.
Okay.
Or earlier than that. So let's do the second verse, please. Let's go on from where we stopped, but just think about that, about keeping the roundness even in small vowels.
Yes. Okay.
I'll just give you a 5-minute warning now, guys.
Thank you, Nina. Now stand still, Shashvat, by the way. You're moving around too much.
Home was home then, my dear.
No, wait, Shashvat, just because it's going a little bit faster, not home was home. Again, keep this legato connection. Try that again.
was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces.
Okay, wait a minute though. You did very well there because you had a better tonal quality, but then of course you needed more breath.
Yep, I did.
So give yourself more breath. Open your mouth earlier and get some breath in your body.
Yes.
You're not breathing for real life. You're breathing for singing.
Yes.
And it's a kind of, you know, extraordinary thing. You're not breathing to go to the shop and say, can I have a bag of, you know, potatoes and rice, please? You're breathing for these big emotional statements.
Yeah, okay. Nope. Sort of. So really sorry, I'm kind of lost in this.
Okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
Now, big breath and take it earlier. Open your mouth earlier and get some breath in your body.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to do it without the accompaniment, if that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Home was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces. Home.
Same thing happened again. I'm going to try and breathe on an R vowel this time. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Stand still.
Home was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces. Home.
Yeah, that was better.
That was better.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Home was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces. Home was home then, my dear, happy for the child. Fire, fire, and the windows bright glittered on the moorland.
Good.
Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild.
Well done, well done. Here's a case in point. Palace in the wild, not palace in the wild, you need to give that the wild, the.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sing the way you speak.
Yeah.
Song, tuneful song. Can we go from there?
Song, tuneful song, built a palace.
Again, song, tuneful song, built a palace.
I see.
Song.
Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild.
That's better. Now, just going back, you don't need to sort this just now, but there was a wrong note someplace. I think it was home then, my dear. Just have a look at that later on yourself. There was something. That's okay. Keep going. Do that again for me. Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild.
Okay.
Now breathe in your ah.
Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild.
Good.
Now when the day dawns on the brow of the moorland, lone stands the house and the chimney stone is cold. Lone let it stand, now the friends are all departed. The kind heart's the true.
Wait, you were doing very well, and then it came all here. The kind heart.
That was a shallow
Keep
breath.
that big internal tempo.
Yeah, okay.
The kind heart.
The kind hearts, the true hearts, that loved the place of old.
Very good. That
Stop there, I'm afraid.
We have to stop there. But even a word like hearts, don't squash that. The kind hearts, the true hearts, not hearts. Because that more means is more heartful. So, Shashwat, do you know what you might need to think about in terms of this?
Yes, I think I do. It's sort of that I try to be so expressive that I sometimes lose. I don't know how much of my voice to use. So
you use all of it. Use all your voice. Because something is art song, it still is to be sung fully and with heart.
Right.
Because if you don't do that, you will not build up the muscular strength needed. And actually, if you listen to people like Benjamin Luxon and there's some very fine British baritones who have sung this repertoire, they really sing it. You know, they don't croon it.
Yeah. All right.
It needs legato singing, and you are very able for that. You will be, but you might have to put your artistry at the back at the moment, and just get this animal Italianate bel canto connection of vowels. That's my best bit of advice I can give you.
Will do. Thank you.
And take extra breaths. You know,
yes. Okay.
Don't try and save yourself. Take more breaths, and then there will come a point you won't need them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Good for you, Shashwat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Shashwat. Beautiful singing, and thank you, Jennifer. Some really important points for student singers there, especially. We're going to move on now to our final singer of this afternoon, who is Ananya Didapur, who is calling in from London. And Ananya, we're going to see your introductory video now and find out a little bit more about you.
Hi there, my name is Ananya and I'm currently a fourth year medical student studying at Imperial College London. Besides medicine, music has always been a very important part of my life since I was young. During my schooling years, I performed in many charity concerts across Asia and in front of heads of state in Singapore, which is where I grew up. My parents are from Bangalore and Mysore, to which I have a very fond connection. 3 years ago, when I moved to London to start university, I was very keen to continue my vocal training. I was lucky that the Royal College of Music was right next door to Imperial and that I got to meet Professor Patricia Rosario, under whom I currently train. Balancing medicine and music can sometimes be quite a challenge, especially during hospital placements in these COVID times and exam seasons. But my love for music always keeps me coming back.
Hi, people. So we've got Ananya here, and I've asked her, she had 2 songs that she could have sung, and I've asked her if she would sing the Debussy Bonsoir, just to make life difficult for her. So Ananya, tell us, again, I'm going to the same question I've said to everybody. Tell us what the song is about, but tell us what it means to you, because, you know, that's not always the same thing.
So Bonsoir translates to beautiful evening. And so basically in the song, you can see there's like imagery of painting of this beautiful evening, and also kind of that sensory experience, like you have the warm breeze, and it's just a very beautiful thing to see. And then at the same time, how I kind of interpret it is kind of like to be in the moment, present moment, and to enjoy what the moment gives to you. Because Debussy ends the song with kind of understanding that life is but short, because will pass away. So it's just kind of like being able to grasp the full beauty around us while we are still young, and that's what I think.
Yeah, yes, or however, even if we're not still young, but to grasp the moment. Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to what I was saying earlier to Anusha about when she was singing Gretchen. There are times in singing when you need, where the poet is asking us to be very reflective and look back, but there's times when we have to sing in a very immediate way, as if we're experiencing it. Anyway, let's hear you sing it and we'll talk about it. Well done. Good for you. Lots of very, very nice things. I think, again, it was a lovely spin on your voice and resonance and sort of, a nice animation in the sound. And I really like that. And your French was pretty good. And you obviously had a sense of what you wanted to do with the melody. You need a bit more discipline rhythmically. Yeah. You were sort of slightly dotting things. And one of the strange things about Debussy as a composer is that it can all sound very, whimsical, but actually he's very highly annotated. So let's just do this. I want you to just do this for the rhythm. Lorsqu'au soleil couchant, les rivières sont roses. So just say the first few lines to me, like to a child, and even give yourself a beat.
Okay. Lorsqu'au soleil couchant, les rivières sont roses.
Rose. Keep going.
Et quand il y a de frissons courent sur les champs de blé.
That's the idea. Now, of course, when you are strict about the rhythm, it takes a bit longer and you can't rush it ahead, and therefore it takes more breath. And to take more breath, you need more calmness. Yeah. And again, the thing I was saying as well to Shashvat, you need to be more grounded. So that when you breathe that, it's not all where there's a shallow breath. So it's that calm, grounded, feeling very dignified to get that breathing working for you. So look, let's just do that first. Let's make this the priority. I want you to feel very I mean, it's possibly even a feeling that doesn't go with the song, because the song is quite, and first, I don't want you to do that just now. I want you to feel like your feet are planted into the ground and you're just counting, and you're, again, being disciplined about that. So when you breathe, you think ahead. La, Scott, not la, Scott, sole. You know, I get very nervous watching people breathe because I'm always thinking, breathe now, you know, and they sort of breathe like we breathe when we chat.
Okay.
Whereas you want to give yourself a bit more time to breathe. As Shashvat was saying, breathe more into an A vowel. La. I'm not saying people need to always breathe like guppy fish all the time, but there is sometimes you have to go through that process, I think, to open up the space at the back and to get the expansion down here in the rib cage.
Okay.
So okay. With the accompaniment, but doing quite technically.
Sure.
That was so much better. I wouldn't mind if you took 2 breaths and you kept that Les rivières sorrow, because you're doing it in 1 breath. You do a little thing where you sort of, I don't know quite what you do, but the rhythm slips a bit on Les rivières. Lorsqu'au soleil couchant, les rivières sont roses. But it was steadier, Ananya, much steadier. Just try it again, please.
Sure.
And if you have to take an extra breath before les rivières, great. If you don't, fine. But keep it really strict. And don't then, Et quand il y a de frissons courent sur les champs de blé. Okay. You know, like an old-fashioned pedantic conductor. Now, breathe early. Okay, how did that feel for you?
Felt better.
Could you describe better how?
I think I'm more calmer right now than when I started. But I think I'm thinking more just making sure that the rhythm, I don't just get carried away with the music, and I actually think, what is the rhythm? Which is
getting carried away with the music can be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's always this thing about, it's a strange thing, because the more you attend to the fundamentals, we, the audience, feel the music that you're singing more. It's like I was talking to Shashvat, the same thing. You know, if you just keep on the phrase, keep singing through the vowels, getting the vowels right, keeping the rhythm right, breathing in good time so you've got lots of breath, it becomes more expressive. Now try once more and keep that very awake, alive sense of the rhythm here. But I want you to just calm your sound down a bit at the moment, because it's piano. So it's just a bit, it's a color. I'm not asking you to sing it, no, you know, like this, but just calmer, but keep your breath flow going. And then this time, let's keep going. Well done. wait. Can we just go from here? Well done. Now, a closed A vowel on a D sharp. If you don't give that enough space to resonate in, it'll sort of knock. You need to make that breath rather than and now I'm exaggerating, that's not what you sounded like, but you didn't, for my money, give enough space for that closed A vowel to live in and for it to float if necessary. You know, does that make sense?
Like,
yeah. It's much easier if you go, hey, just do that for me a minute. Go, hey. Hey. That's it. Can you feel the space that your head voice needs? So if you want to do something quite floaty and dreamlike, can you do that? Yeah, keep it. Keep that length there. There you go. So let's go back to un conseil. Remember your closed nasal O there, which you do very well in other places, but watch it doesn't become conseil. Conseil d'être heureux semble sortir des choses. Now here's a piece of advice. This is it's more difficult to talk about this online, and it'd be easier if we were both in the room. But if you feel that you're getting to the end of a phrase and you just need that bit of extra to get for the breath, slightly bend your knees and go as if you'd use your sitting muscles, as if you were just going to sit down, but you don't.
Okay.
It's a sort of way of just getting that last bit of abdominal support to get the last bit of breath out.
Okay.
See what happens anyway. Just a bit before that.
Sometimes it's a bit fiddly. I don't know why. Oh.
It's okay. Take your time. Go further back and catch up.
Okay.
Now breathe in time. Good, Ananya. How did that feel?
Felt better.
More freedom, wasn't there? And you could sort of do that crescendo.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Just going back a little bit, it's what I call going up and over the rainbow. He can't yet. Make sure that oh gosh, I can't pitch these notes. I haven't got a piano here. Can you just play the D sharp to E for E can't yet? Yeah. Now, an E natural can sometimes feel a very high note, and it needs to have more launch. It needs more fuel in the tank. Sorry, I still can't pitch it. Yeah, I'm being. Not just can't yet. Don't just knock on the door of that E natural. You need to sing through it and up and over. That's it. That's it. Now, if you want, depending on how it sits in your voice, you maybe don't want to sing ka, a big wide ka. You might want to lengthen. Rather than can't. But it depends on your voice and it depends how it lives. Do you want to just try all that bit again and do the nice lovely space that you gave yourself for the next bit.
Okay, so from which way should I go from? Sorry.
I think we should go encore. Go from the beginning. It's a very short song. Try and put all these bits together.
Okay, I'll try. Lorsqu'au soleil couchant, les rêves sont roses, et côtés de frissons poussent sur les champs de blé. Encore c'est d'être ressemble sortir des choses, et monter puis le cœur troublé. Encore c'est de goûter le charme d'être
Okay, we need to. Okay, you were doing very well, and then you lost the discipline. Conseil de goûter le charme d'être au monde. Yeah, it began to get a little rock a little bit. It was going very well until then. I think again from that. Conseil de goûter, you need to give yourself time to prepare because you're going to jump down to that C sharp. Can we pick up before there? So get your poise and your stillness and your mathematical head on again.
Yeah. This would do it. Conseil de goûter le charme d'être monde, cependant qu'on est jeune et que le soir est beau, quand nous en allons, comme s'en va cet onde. Et là, la mer.
Good for you. Good for you. So there's a few things I want to talk about. Cependant qu'on est, there's an O nasal there. Qu'on est jeune. I think you sing Kern or something. Qu'on est jeune et jeune et que le soir est beau. You know the bit going back to what we're talking about. Et quand il y a de. How did that feel when you did it the time before?
I think it felt okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought it sounded freer and more generous. Now, once you get used to that generous flow of the sound, you can nuance it a little bit more because it was a bit, and obviously that's not right either. But at least the phrase poured over. But then the next thing is to shape it and nuance it so that you're not making ka the most important word in the sentence, but it's keeping the flow and the freedom. You began to find some very nice dynamic colors. And you see the thing about if you keep that calm head, it gives you the headspace to choose a dynamic and to choose a color. And I think you've got the capacity to do that, but you need to think earlier and you need to get enough breath on board. Yeah. You know, it's that thing about feeling this, what we call the buoyancy of the breath, even if you're then going to do something very quiet.
Yeah.
It's like something like a ballet dancer or a skater, you know, doing a big leap to sort of land on point or something like that, you know, but the physical energy to launch yourself to get that precision needs to be expansive.
Got it.
And in good time. Would you like to try the whole song through?
Yeah, let's try.
Because there's a lot of detail there, Ananya. And it seemed to me that every time that you were mentally disciplined about the rhythm, everything else worked so much better.
I agree.
And breathe. Good. So how was that? How did you feel there?
I feel towards the end I got more calmer, which made my voice settle a bit more.
Yes.
But I think I can still be more settled and more calm. I'm just probably a bit nervous, but
you can be. You occasionally let the rhythm just rock a little bit. Listen, that's not the end of the world, but in your case at the moment, when you're doing that, it feels like everything just loses its footing. So my advice would be, again, to spend more time just going over the words to the rhythm. De frisson court sur les champs de blé, you know, and quite boring, you know, do that boring work. My old singing teacher, when I was young, when I was a student, she used to say to me, to all of us, we would sing something to her, pouring our hearts out, or me pouring my heart out. And she would say, yeah, but you don't really know this. You don't know this well enough. And I would be really offended because I know this, I've learned it, but I absolutely know what she means now. I didn't have the rhythms and the corners completely in my body. I was sort of away with the fairies with it, but didn't really know it in my body.
This is your 5-minute warning now.
Thank you, thank you. And just having that, well, particularly the rhythm, so that you know when you need to start the next breath, for example. It's a bit like a tennis player, as if people did play tennis like this, you know, but they don't. They take this big, you know, so that's your breath to launch the sound. So it's kind of knowing the song well enough to know how much time it takes to do that with it. Because once you get that, then you have obviously got that musical imagination to colour the sound and nuance it, and you're more able to do it. We've got 5 minutes. Did you want to sing the Muriel Herbert again, or do you? Yeah, sing it. Just sing it to us.
Okay. There is a wind where the rose was, cold rain where sweet grass was, and clouds like sheep stream over the sea gray skies where the lark was. Not gold where your hair was, not warm where your hand was, but phantom forlorn beneath the thorn. Your ghost where your face was.
Can I stop you there, Ananya? Because we probably won't have time to do it all, but I'd like you to sing it again from the beginning. It's very good, and there was some very nice stillness and sense what you want to do with the phrase. I want you to be more ready for the phrases with the high notes.
Okay.
You know, again, if you were at Wimbledon, you would be trying to get it over the net like that, whereas you need to get it over the net like that. And you need to think ahead. It's like playing chess. I can't play chess, but you need to think a move before you sing. Let's just start at the beginning again. It's so lovely to hear this song, and again, wonderful to have female composers represented. So very good. Yeah.
There is a wind where the rose was, cold rain where sweet grass was, and clouds like sheep stream over the steep gray skies where the lark was. Not gold where your hair was, not warm where your hand was, but phantom forlorn beneath the thorn. Your ghost where your face was.
Okay, Ananya, good. Much more ready for these bigger phrases. How did that feel?
Felt better. I felt much calmer and more in charge.
You know, there's that thing about the more you have, there's a thing about practice actually, and it's prepare to fail or fail to prepare. So in a way, you need to prepare not to fail. So the preparation, the being ready for the big phrases, because you're ready, because you can feel that expansion and you can feel that security of the fact that your ribs have had a chance to expand and open up, helps you feel calmer. And I think in terms of people feeling anxious when they sing, if they haven't allowed their body to do what it needs to do, to expand, so you have this nice cushion of air, then there is a feeling, oh, I don't have enough to go on, because you haven't. So it's what you do before you sing is as important as what you do when you sing. Have you got any more questions about that, Ananya?
No, nice. Thank you so much for the class.
Not at all. It's a pleasure. It's lovely to hear you, and it's lovely to hear that song.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think that's us, is it?
That is, yeah. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That concludes our first event, our masterclass for today. I want to say big congratulations and thank you to Anusha, Shashwat and Ananya. Such a lovely, lovely start to our festival. Some beautiful singing today. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for giving us the wisdom of your expertise. And it's amazing, you know, what difference you can make even in half an hour. So much difference to people singing in the way that they deliver a song. So thank you so much, Jennifer. Would you like to say a few words before we say goodbye?
I've really enjoyed it, and everybody I've spoken to really had something to offer. I'm a bit of a sort of, as you put, you know, the bad cop. That singing is so pleasurable, and we all want to be expressive and to say something. But sometimes you have to take a step back and just make sure all the fundamentals, boring fundamentals like the right vowel sound, the right amount of time on the bar, on the note, you know, that you're not closing a note off before it's had its full duration. All that's in place, because when you do that, then your body knows how to take in the breath for that. Whereas if you're being so expressive that you don't kind of allow that, again, it's fundamental legato. And I love doing artistic, expressive, creative, coloring stuff. I love that. But a lot of that happens spontaneously once the fundamentals are in place. So I would say to everybody, don't underestimate going back to square one about simple things like note duration, rhythm, vowel shapes, and prepare earlier so you get enough breath in your bodies. This is not like going to the supermarket. This is singing, which is a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I love these masterclasses, because you can see the work that singers have to put in to make things sound effortless and natural, but actually it's so much discipline and thought and physical preparation.
I mean, singers are athletes, and nobody would set off on a race or high jump and just sort of set off like that. You know, there would be preparation, and singing is very physical, and that has to happen as well.
Absolutely. It reminded me of working with teachers when I was a student and sort of wanting to do a diminuendo at one point and being told, well, let's not try and run before we can walk.
Me too.
Yeah, things that you have such a kind of, you know, if you have an artist in you, you want to express, and it's frustrating to be told, no, just sing out, but we have to build the instrument first.
Right. We were told, well, my teacher certainly wouldn't allow me to sing quietly because she didn't feel that I was singing ordinary mezzo forte properly. So, you know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been such a pleasure. Really appreciate you joining us today, and congratulations to all of our singers. Just for everybody who's watching, we have 4 more events coming up in the festival. So we have 2 more vocal masterclasses coming up on Thursday this week with Carl Luchmeyer, and on Tuesday next week with Patricia Rosario. And then on Thursday next week, we're going to be hosting a composition workshop for composers who've been writing new art songs, because we want to support also the creation of new music as part of the festival. And that will be with Chris Kane from Trinity Laban and with Jimmy Bunch from KM Music Conservatory. And then on Saturday, the 17th of July, we're going to have our live streamed finale when you can hear all of our 10 singers singing their full program of art songs before we will announce our prize winners at the end. So I hope that you can join us for some or all of those other events. And we hope that you enjoyed watching our singers today, seeing Jennifer work with them and learning about the singers process and hearing some beautiful art songs. Thank you, everybody. Again, congratulations, and see you soon, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.